Hello class, my name is Chris and my presentation is going to be on the Global PT app. So this is just the table of contents and just an overview of the content that we're going to be going over. Alright, so let's get started. What is Global PT? Global PT is a multimedia application that allows people around the world to have one-on-one sessions with a licensed certified physical therapist. Our main target of population are the countries that have little to no healthcare and that can benefit from physical therapy. Not many know the benefits of PT, and we can help spread that word. So the app will allow for a live video feed and also instant messaging. It lets one choose the physical therapist of their choosing by viewing all licensed therapist profiles. Like I said before, the physical therapist must be licensed by FSBPT, which is the Federal Board of Physical Therapists. They have to be licensed in order to sign up with Global PT. This app is a way to better the lives of those less fortunate around the world, along with bringing more awareness to what physical therapy is and how it plays a part in the medical field. So what we want to do is we want to first target the Philippines. That is the first country that we want to get to. The Philippines is a vast developing country with a considerable amount of people that cannot afford or do not have access to physical therapy or, for that case, any healthcare benefits. With the population size growing rapidly with over 107 million people, I believe that this is going to be a great place to first launch Global PT. So what are the growth opportunities of the Philippines? Since the infrastructure is foreshadowed to grow, this will benefit us with exporting Global PT and allowing us to station our call and tech support centers throughout the Philippines. The growing infrastructure will also help us to market to underdeveloped areas in the country. Alright, moving on to FDI attractiveness. Last year was the Philippines' all-time high of FDI attractiveness. Regardless of that inflation that occurred at the end of 2018, FDI attractiveness is projected to keep rising. The major key factor in the country's sustainable growth is the population size. This brings foreign investment and economic growth. So regarding political risks, with the Philippines president being investigated for criminal activity and the country slowly losing their allies, this can pose a risk for business. The president has focused on lowering crime and improving the infrastructure, which is good for foreign investment, but because of the lack of support lately, it is uncertain what will happen to him in office. So, economic risks. We saw that the infrastructure of the Philippines is steadily growing, but with the high demands of importing of capital goods and the raw material for these projects, the country's deficit will stay the same this year. This also restricts their investing power. However, with the overall economy projected to grow, many risks being short term, it should not affect business here. So the posing legal risks are high corruption and crime rates in the area. Even despite the president trying to decrease these, they still run a large. Culturally, the Philippines is a hardworking population and very family oriented. The dominant religions there are Catholics and Christianity. However, Catholic religion is the major religion. With English as a major language spoken, this is beneficial for business there. The Filipinos are very family oriented and they like to build close relationships with people. So we need to keep this in mind as we do business in this country. All right, so moving on to the preliminary business plan. So starting with social considerations. The majority of population is lower class, which is beneficial to us because that is our targeted population for our business. With English being the business language spoken, this makes it easy for us to do business and connect with local businesses in the areas. However, the lower class population poses a language barrier since they do speak little to no English. The Philippines Social Organization shows to be group related and can be a positive for us because people are closely related and word of mouth can spread about our service, acting as a marketing strategy for us. So, what are the cultural considerations? Western culture plays a big role and a key influence for business in the Philippines. This is very beneficial because they will likely understand our work habits and how business works in America. Regarding the population, the amount of births do outweigh deaths, and many of these births take place outside a healthcare setting because majority is from the lower class population. This poses birth defects and worries, which physical therapy can help. The Muslim religion is seen throughout the Philippines, but it is not that big of a percentage of the religion there. However, this can affect our service because of the Muslim beliefs with exposing certain body parts, and with physical therapy, there are certain body parts that need to be exposed. Um, Lastly, understanding the work habits of the Philippines is crucial. They are seen to be very formal, but also leisure at times. So, what is the entry strategy that Global PT will use? Well, we want to take into consideration localization. The pressure for the local responsiveness is going to be high in the Philippines. The targeted population is lower class and in underdeveloped areas. We need to cater to these less privileged and understand their living conditions. We also need to find a way to bridge that language barrier because majority speak little to no English. And there's also the fact that because it is a multimedia application, they are going to need some type of internet access, and we need to be able to bring that to remote areas. So the pressure for cost reduction is low because there is little to no competition at the moment since Global PT is the first of its kind. With this being a new business venture, cost reductions are not the most important as of now. However, as the service does grow, we can look at our costs and expenses and begin to consider cost reductions in certain areas. So the globalization entry mode, we are going to be exporting and also using a wholly owned subsidiary. So with the exporting, since we're going to be engineering and designing the actual Global PT app in the United States, we will be exporting the application abroad to other countries. And then with the wholly owned subsidiary, we're going to bring local call and tech support centers to the Philippines. So the labor market dealing with employment levels. So the employment rate is 94.76% this year, which is an all-time high. This signifies that there will be easy to find employment for us. But I found out that there is only 15% of occupation groups being in service and sales. And this can negatively affect our labor force since this is the area of employment that we are looking for. Okay, dealing with education and labor costs. So, according to the Legatum Prosperity Index, the Philippines ranked 60th in education. This is an average score in the world. Um, with schooling, there is a 100% enrollment rate for the primary schooling, and then for secondary schooling, there's 70 to 80%, and then lastly, the tertiary schooling, it is below 50%. Our employment is a low entry job, so the school enrollment rankings don't have that much of an effect. And then dealing with labor cost, we see that the average wages in the Philippines comes out to be around $200 USD per month for wages, which is a very low wage and is cheap labor, which is a positive for us. All right, moving on to the human resource approach. We will be using the supply and demand market theory as a foundation for determining wage rates. However, since we are doing business in another country, we do have to look at other factors. These factors do include cost of living, government legislation on minimum wages, if there is one. I do not believe the Philippines has one, though. And then we also have to take into account the education levels and the workers' skill levels. Continuing with human resources, I believe that we should provide healthcare benefits, especially in a developing country, and also the fact that our service deals with the healthcare field. This will also show that we do care for our employees' well-being, and it does act as an attraction for employment in our company, along with the proposed long-term employment, since a lot of companies in the Philippines don't give healthcare benefits. Regarding the management for our local service facilities, I do believe that we should hire local management, leading to a polycentric approach. This allows for local host country nationals to take care of the local management, and then dealing with our parent company, we keep headquarter positions in the United States. So now we're kind of summing things up. We're gonna go over things we already went over. So like I said before, we are gonna produce this multimedia application in the United States, and then we will export it to other countries. And then since this is an application that can be downloaded via the internet, so pretty much anywhere in the world that has internet access, we have to find out how to get this app into areas that are remote and don't have access to the internet, since those are going to be a majority of the areas that are populated by lower class citizens of countries, and that's our target population. And also, we're bringing it to areas that just simply don't have a healthcare system and know little about what physical therapy is and the benefits of it. And now, is it going to be successful? I believe it can be, because throughout the world there is a vast population that can benefit from physical therapy. It's in high demand. And with the Philippines, seeing how it correlates with the needs of our service, it gives high hopes for the success rate. And then, as long as we can market our service well and get people to see the benefits of physical therapy on their daily living, it it'll show, and the more it spreads, the more people will understand. All right, well, that is my global service that I created. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed this term, and wish the best of luck to all of you. God bless. Well, in 2018, the Philippines economy was steadily growing and showing potential for rises in their technology, operations management, and infrastructure. At the end, however, of 2018, the Philippines did suffer inflation, but they did bounce back this year, where the government is building $171 billion worth of infrastructure. The Philippines has a huge poverty level, and foreign investment will help bring this level down.